Hello, my name is Gift Matthias. I'm a brand strategist and a content creator. I want to first and foremost start by appreciating Elijah and the leadership of the Genius Grid for this amazing opportunity they've given me today to talk to us about something very, very interesting. First and foremost, I want to sincerely apologize also for my inability to make it physically to the event, but like they would always say, distance is not a barrier. One of the most important things about this generation is the fact that there's a rise in a new type of economy, which we are calling today the digital economy or the creator economy. So I'm going to be talking to us from standpoint as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as someone that has worked with brands, businesses, founders, creators, and the spectrum goes on and on. The most important and the fundamental about the 21st century is the fact that we're living in a gold mine. And for you to live in a gold mine, it indicates clearly that there's something about you that is special, the world needs, and a value you can give to make money. Now, I'm basically speaking to us as entrepreneurs. I'm speaking to us as creators and not consumers. Let's get it clearly. We have creators and we have consumers, but I'm speaking to us as creators, not as consumers, as people that want to create a niche for themselves in the 21st century, especially in the online space. Now, it's clear that if you sell to one, it's called sales, but if you sell to many, it's called marketing. Now, I'm going to be dividing this talk into 5 different sections, and these 5 different sections is going to make it easier for us to understand, and I'm going to also give us a teaser into the third cohort. This event is the second cohort. The third cohort is going to be very, very interesting, and I don't want you to miss it for anything. Now, the first section is going to be called the new digital economy. The second section is going to be called understanding social media ecosystem. The third section is going to be called the 4 pillars of digital dominance. The fourth section is going to be called content strategy for entrepreneurs. The fifth section is going to be called the advanced algorithm science. And the 6th section is going to be a teaser to the third cohort, the third event, which is going to be about AI, about creating AI agents, about creating AI assistants that would help you optimize your social media presence, will help you optimize your marketing, and also at large help you optimize your business. This is important because in the 21st century, every single entrepreneur is building what I personally call their engine room of content. Every single entrepreneur, from Alex Hamosi to Gary Vee to Iman Ghazi to anybody you want to talk about. So if you're a business owner, a founder, a creator, you should know that you must, and I repeat, you must create an army of media team. All right, let's move to the first section, which I call the new digital economy. Now, this is important because most entrepreneurs are failing to grow, especially online and even offline, because they are losing one thing. Posting always has nothing to do with growth. Posting with strategy has everything to do with growth. So if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, a founder, a creator, one of the things you should understand is strategy. Now, there's something I call the 3S of the digital economy: system, structure, and skill. I call it the 3S of the digital economy. For everybody you see online that is scaling, they have these 3 things. They are good with their skill, they have strategy, and above all, they have structures and systems. So if you want to scale, you must know that as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner that want to propel their business online, you must have this 3S. You must be very good at your skill. Now it's because at this point, we are not just competing with our local creators. Anything you upload online, you're competing with the global scale, right? That's why Elijah would always start by saying global leaders. He's not saying it because he's speaking to everybody around him. He's speaking it to everybody around the world. So if you're a creator, also know this and know this, that you are speaking to the global world. Your competition now is not just everyone in Kuje, everyone in Abuja. Your competition is the world. It's Chinese, it's Asia, it's America, it's Europe, it's everywhere in the world. So your skill has to be very, very good. If there's anything you can neglect, you cannot neglect your skill. You have to be good. If you're saying you're a marketer, you have to be good in marketing. You have to be good in advertisement. You have to be good in content creation. You have to be good in speaking. You have to be good in that shoe you're making. You have to be good in that public speaking. You have to be good with that video editing skill you have. You have to be good with that cake you're baking, right? because you are not competing only with people around you, are competing with the global scale. Now, number two, the second type of S, which I call structure. Now, structure and systems are very important, because if you don't have these two things, you would notice something. You will be creating content, you'll be growing, but you'll be growing at a very slow pace. That's one. Secondly, you would not understand what made you grow, right? You're going to see people online, especially now, where they have a video that got 20 to 30,000 views, and the next video is getting about 1,000 or 500. Now, they don't have systems and structures. That's why they don't understand what they did in the first video that made them scale to 20,000 views, and what they can do in the next video that will make them even do better, right? So systems and structure makes it clear and makes process repeatable, right? Makes progress repeatable. You can repeat that progress. You know that this is the kind of hook I used here, this is the kind of intro I used, this is the kind of body I used, and this is the kind of call to action. When I changed this sound, I made better, more individuals viewed it. When I used this sound, it was way better, right? So systems and structures gives you the opportunity to clearly define your growth, so you can basically repeat it again and again. Now, the fourth, or rather the third, which depends on how you want to look at it, system, structure, skills, and above all, yourself, right? If you do not believe in yourself, there is no opportunity, there's no potential that you would grow. I always look at it this way. There are people with lesser IQ, there are people with lower equipment or gadgets, there are people with much more worse situations that are doing better than me, right? So if there are individuals doing that, then what is my excuse? That's one. Number two, you are actually good. Trust me when I say this. You do not need any other thing to become better. You need to believe that you can actually do this and become better, right? So these four things are the 4 or 3S, depends on how you want to look at it, that is going to propel you in the digital economy. Now, I'm going to be giving some rules that you should keep up with in this new digital economy. The first rule is attention is the most valuable currency of the 21st century, right? Attention will always, attention, visibility will always beat your ability, right? You're going to see people that have lesser skill than you are because they have the ability to gain a lot of attention. They are doing better than you. That's because people identify more with individuals with social proof than individuals without social proof. That's why people go out to buy social media followers and whatnot. No, I'm not saying you should do those things. What I'm saying is people would go for the people they know and see rather than the people that are even the best. Now, the second rule is business grow when attention grows. That's always. If you have the ability to gain 1 billion views every single month, if you can gain 1 billion views every single month, 10% of 1 billion, it's about 100 million. 10% of 100 million is 10 million. So imagine you're selling to 10 million individuals every single month. That's just 1% of 1 billion. Now, 1% of 100 is 1. Right, so you see that we're selling the same thing, but because I have the ability to gain more views, I have the tendency to make more sales. Now, the third rule is influence is now measurable, scalable, and monetizable. Influence is monetizable, is scalable, and is measurable. There are people that one word from them would turn the market around. Example, Elon Musk. Example, Donald Trump. So you should also, as much as you're pushing for attention, push for influence. You should be able to say something in your niche. You should be able to become an authority that when you say something as a global speaker, as an investor, as a capitalist, as a marketer, as an advertiser, as anybody, as long as you can say something that would move the market, you are becoming an influence. So please, as much as you're pushing to become an authority, you should also push to become very, very, very influential. The third rule is every entrepreneur is now becoming a communicator. Your ability to articulate your thoughts clearly is directly proportional to how much people will believe you. The reason why you're listening to me clearly is because I'm able to pass out a clear message to you about the digital economy and about creation. It is clear and defined that for you to become a very good entrepreneur, a very good creator, you should be able to communicate clearly. So work on your communication skill, work on your ability to articulate your thoughts clearly, and above all, learn how to become an orator. People believe people that are able to persuade them, negotiate with them, and above all, able to sell an idea to them. So if you want to become the top 1% entrepreneur in 21st century, not in the previous years, please learn how to speak and learn how to communicate clearly. Now, section 2 is understanding the social media ecosystem. Now, in the 21st century, we have 3 elements in the ecosystem. We have the content-based platform, we have creator-based platform, and now we have the community-based platform. If you remember in our previous cohort, the first event, I spoke about 2 only. I spoke about creator-based platform and content-based platform. But now, we now have community-based platform. Let me run you through basically what these individual platforms mean and what you can gain from them. Now, first and foremost, why are these platforms important? They are important because as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you need to know your strengths and you also need to know your weaknesses. Right? Forget about your weakness and focus on your strengths. Now, you need to understand the platform you're going to be focused on while you grow and while you scale so that you do not waste your time. My mentor once told me that the path you choose is much more important than the effort you put in the path. Right? There's some paths in the 21st century that are wasted, that you actually have nothing to gain. Right? So imagine you're struggling to become a newspaper editor. Now, I'm not saying that is bad, but I'm trying to say, or a newspaper merchant. I'm not trying to say that's bad. What I'm trying to say is, in the 21st century, there are very fewer individuals that are focused on buying physical newspapers, right? So, no matter how much good you are, you would also not sell as much as someone that's doing it online. So, knowing your platform is as good as you even becoming a creator on that platform. So, first is content-based platform. Basically, these are platforms that are focused more on the kind of content you push, not on the creator. Example, TikTok. That's why you have individuals with lower than 100 or 1,000 subscribers or followers, and they have millions of views. That's because the platform itself is focused more on the content to new strangers rather than the creator. Right? So we have platforms like TikTok, we have platforms like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Now, these platforms are basically only focused on the content. That's why they are called content-based platform rather than the creator. They don't care about the creator. They don't care where your location. They don't care the kind of gadgets you use. What they are much more focused on is how much good that content is and how they can push the content to new strangers. Now, it's designed for discovery. That's clearly what content-based platforms are all about. So if you're a creator and entrepreneur and you want to really gain new eyeballs, you can't do that on LinkedIn. You have to do that on TikTok, you have to do that on YouTube Shorts, you have to do that on Instagram Reels. Why? Because these platforms are focused more on the content rather than the creator. Now, the second type of platform we have is what I call creator-based platform. Now, this platform is focused clearly on the creator, not just on the content. Now, an example is clearly YouTube, LinkedIn, and podcast. Now, creator-based platform clearly focus more on depth, they focus on brand identity, and above all, they focus on expertise. Now, an example are YouTube, LinkedIn, and podcast. Now, this platform clearly focus more on the individual, your story, your authority, your standpoint, your loyalty, and your credibility. So if you're a creator or a founder and entrepreneur and you really want to push your story, right, you want to push your brand identity, what you should be focused on are creator-based platform rather than content-based platform. Now, the third, which is going to be community-based platform. Now, the idea is to make money. Basically, that's what community-based platforms are. They are basically to make money. How do I make money? An example are WhatsApp communities, Telegram groups, and paid membership. So if you're a creator and you are just going to sell, right, you should be focused more on platforms that would actually convert those individuals in that platform to money. So for individuals that really want to push their content game, understand these 3 pillars I just spoke about: content-based platform, creator-based platform, and community-based platform. Why are they important? So you do not waste your time. Now, for section 3 for this segment, I'm going to be talking about the 4 pillars of digital dominance. How do I dominate the digital space as a creator, as a founder, and above all, as an entrepreneur? The first pillar is what I call content. The second pillar is called audience. The third pillar is called branding. And the fourth pillar is called monetization. Now, the first pillar, which I call content, is what is very important. Why? Because you have to put yourself out there. People need to know, hear, and see what you do. Now, there are 5 basic content archetypes. There are 5 different kind of people online, and I'm going to divide them, and you have to please pay attention clearly, because this is where everything gets more interesting. And above all, if you miss this part, you're going to miss a lot. Now, the first is called the educators. Now, the educators are people that teach framework and give clarity. Basically, I am an educator. Why? Because I teach. Yes, I am not an entertainer, which leading us to the second archetype, which are entertainers. I'm not an entertainer. There's nothing funny online. I do not care about your humor. What I care about is passing message. So we have the educators, we have the entertainers, we have the experts. These are people that drive with authority. Now, an example of a educator and expert is Elijah. Now, Elijah speaks with authority. He's not coming there to show you his skits, which there's a blend to it once in a while, but at some period, he's going to teach you why he's starting with authority, dear global leaders. He's not teaching you, or he's not showing you how to become a global leader. He's speaking to you from the standpoint as global leader to a global leader. That's the third, which is the experts. The fourth are the documentarians. Now, documentarians are people that show you process. They show you from beginning to the end, right? They show you how they got started and the end result. These are different types of people. And the fifth are called the friends. These are people that are very relatable. These are people that will stand somewhere and make different kinds of videos. They'll stand in the bush, stand in the forest, stand in eateries, stand in restaurants. They're creating content that you can relate to. They're not creating content from authority standpoints. They're creating content from a standpoint that you and them are on the same pedestal, right? So learn and know these 5 different content archetypes. However, one of the things that makes you a master in content creation is your ability to switch between different content archetypes at will. Now, you know the kind of content that should be relatable. For instance, while these Genius Grid adverts or promotions were going online, they were a blend of so many different content archetypes. There are times where some individuals made friendly style content. There are times where people made expert-based content. There are times where people made entertainment-based style content. And there are times where people made educational style content, right? So for you to actually grow your content game in 2026, you need to clearly understand these 5 content archetypes and know your standpoint and your ability to grow in different fields, and when to switch from becoming an entertainer to becoming an expert, to becoming an educator, to becoming a documentarian, and above all, to becoming a friend, which is very, very, very important. Now, how do content go viral? This is one other very important key factor. Now, there are some things I had to write down because I don't want to forget any point at all. You have to listen to this very clearly. Now, for content to go viral, it has to take in some elements. The first element is it must spark emotion. It has to be filled with joy. It has to be filled with surprise. It has to be filled with anger or inspiration, right? So if you make any generic style content, you need to clearly understand that this content has to have one of these things in it. It must spark emotion. You cannot be in the middle of the spectrum. It has to be an extreme. You must give joy, you must give surprise, you must give anger, or it must be very, very, very emotional or inspirational. The second element towards viral content science is it must be simple enough. What my mentor told me, KISS, KISS, keep it so simple. Keep it so simple. Your content has to be simple that a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 99-year-old can clearly understand your message, your vision, and your mission. Now, the third element in viral content science, it must be relatable enough to share. Shareability is one of the key factors to the growth of any kind of content online. People must be able to share that content. The fourth is it must be very ideal driven. New format and new angle. Something new has to be sparked in my subconscious. I should be able to think about it and resonate clearly to the new idea. We all see dogs every day, but if you see a purple dog, right, you now know that there's something new about that dog that you cannot forget, and you have the ability to tell. So you should be able to clearly send a new idea in a new format from a new perspective. This is very, very important. Now, the last is you must be able to create pattern interruption for the first 2 seconds. Now, the retention span of individuals now have dropped from 6 seconds to barely 2 seconds. Look at yourself and look at your friends when they scroll through TikTok. And look at the speed. Now, trust me, no individual is even giving themselves 1 second. So if the first frame is not even enticing, you scroll up. So you must be able to grab attention in the first 2 seconds. You must be able to do something. You could use hooks, you could use light leaks, you could use sound, you could use text, you could use anything, but be able to capture your audience in the first 2 seconds. This is very, very important. You could use a very controversial headline, right, that would spark emotion or spark controversy. This is the elements that are involved in viral content science. However, I'm going to prepare a PDF, so you'll be able to scan probably somewhere to get this PDF downloaded to you, so you don't have to worry about it. Elijah is also going to do his best to ensure that we also get this PDF. So I'm going to send this PDF to him and he'll be able to send it across. Now, the third section, which I'm going to be very fast, is going to be branding. Now, branding is very important. Everybody online is a brand. However, what differentiates you from other brands is your ability to clearly define your message. Now, there are individual elements that completely make whole of a brand. The first is your message. The second is your visual identity. The first is your message. What are you preaching? For me now, my major goal is to ensure that brand owners, founders, and creators gain visibility online, build their social media presence, make sales, and above all, become authority in their community. That's basically my message. How you can use content to become an authority. Period. Now, my visual identity, from the way I dress, from the way I sound like someone speaking from an authority standpoint, right? I don't wear some funny clothes when I'm making videos. My colors are very unique, my colors are very simple, and they are very, very easy to understand, right? Now, the third element involved in branding is what I call the repeat of themes. Elijah is a very good example. Every time he's trying to make a video, he starts by saying, "Dear global leaders." What are those themes? What are those statements that people know you for? Hello, my name is Bishop Gift. I help brands and businesses gain visibility online, right? The capitalist. My friends are very good with identifying themselves with one particular thing. So if you want to become a very solid brand in 2026, you have to focus on a repeated theme. People should know you for something. Cowbell, our milk. MTN, everywhere you go, right? This LG, life is good. These brands know clearly why they are repeating a theme, not because they are feeding your conscious, but because they are feeding your subconscious. The fourth element towards brand growth is the transformation promise. When you sign up to my social media marketing agency, we help you grow your brand. So the goal is, if you are gaining about 1,000 views, by the end of 30 days you should be able to grow to 10 to 20,000 views and make above 10 to 20% sale increase, right? If you listen to Elijah clearly, he's fine-tuning your mind to see yourself as a global leader, as an authority, as a thought leader, as someone that is clearly defining the newness of a generation, right? So you have to clearly sell a transformation. That business, that brand should be able to clearly identify themselves with the transformation. When someone joins your program, what are you promising them? Now, the last is what the market assumes about you, right? When you listen to Elijah, you clearly listen from a standpoint of what a leader, right? Everyone that listens to him from a standpoint of a leader. Now, when you listen to me from a standpoint of branding, marketing, and advertisement, right? How can Gift is that one person that helps your content grow, and above all, helps you become a better entrepreneur from a content standpoint. That is what it is. If you listen to someone like Isabel, the capitalist, one of the core message that people assume him with is finance, money. When it comes to anything that has to do with make money, liquid cash, investment online, that is what you resonate him with, right? So what the word assumes you are is also very, very important towards brand growth and brand identity. Let's head on to the fourth pillar, which is monetization. How do I make money online as a founder and as a creator? What are the paths? How do I really make money, right? Because we hear a lot of individuals make money online. So how do I make money online? Now, there are different paths towards making money online. The first is high ticket consulting. That's one of the things I do. I speak to coaches, I speak to founders, I speak to creators, and I sell my knowledge to them. So as a founder, as a creator, you can also sell that knowledge. If no matter what you do, you can do high ticket consulting. Even if you make shoes, there are people that want to learn how to make shoes. There are people that are making shoes already. You could sell your knowledge to them. That's one of the first way. The second is retainer and services. Now I run a social media marketing agency. Now we help people manage their social media accounts, market and advertise for them. This is also one of the ways you can sell your service. The third is online courses. You could create a course for anything, guys. I've seen people that make courses on how to solve Rubik's Cube. I've seen people that make courses on how to clean shoes. I've seen people that make courses on how to breathe. How to breathe. Like, that one is the one that is always blowing my mind. How do you create a course and people would buy on how to breathe? I've seen people that make 6 figures to 9 figures on courses on how to sleep. Online courses, you can literally sell anything online. If there are people that are doing that, what is stopping you? Now the fourth is membership communities. That's very easy. You create an online community, people come in and they pay you per month for their knowledge, your services, your one-on-one mentorship and consultation. Digital product, you could sell ebooks, you could sell PDFs, you could sell anything online. The third is sponsored content, right? Now while I speak, whether on YouTube or on TikTok or Instagram, at the end of probably 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to see an ad. Now that's sponsored. Now that's an ad. Now sponsored content is brands reaching out to you and saying, oh, Gift, I like the way you speak and we have a product. Can you help us talk about this product? You make a video about product, they give you the product and they also pay you for that. The next is affiliate marketing. Why I make the product, I can put a link in the description and say, oh, thank you for sponsoring this product, and if you really like this product, you could use the link in my description and make purchase. I get 10% or 20% from your purchase. Now the third, or the one of the last, is YouTube revenue, and then speaking engagement. Now that's all. Now for the fourth pillar, which is monetization, one of the things you should know is what I call the monetization formula. Please write this down. Monetization formula. Monetization formula has to do with 4 things: authority plus trust plus offer plus distribution. Authority plus trust plus your offer plus your distribution equals to revenue. This is basically how much you're going to make. Your authority, how much people trust you; your offer, your ability to distribute it to more than 20 to 100,000 people every single month across all platforms, is equal to how much money you make. Now the fourth section, which is going to be what I call content strategy for entrepreneurs. Now the first is a 30-day digital authority blueprint. In 30 days you should be able to create an authority blueprint for your audience to start resonating with. Now I'm going to give you a framework to make that happen. The first, which is week 1, is to create awareness. Every kind of content you should make as a founder, as a creator, as we're moving on to 2026 in January. Week 1 should be awareness. My name is Gift, I make videos about this. My name is Gift, I sell this. My name is Gift, I help brands do this. My name is Gift, I'm a social media manager. My name is Gift, I'm a visual assistant. You have to hammer on for week 1. Create awareness. Do not be shy. You don't have money, so why are you shy? Your shame should be sold out. If you don't have money, you should not have shame, right? Shame and poverty are 2 different things. So sell out your shame if you want to make money online, or if you want to create content. So week 1 should be awareness. Week 2 should be education based content. Because you've known that in week 1 I help brands, I manage their social media accounts. Week 2 now should be education. If you don't have an optimized social media profile, an optimized social media presence, you're going to be losing money online. Now I'm educating you to what you're losing because you don't have my service. Week 3 should be social proof. Now I've been able to help brands and business gain visibility online for the past 4 years, and we helped clients A do this, we helped clients B do this. Now my testimonials are working. Now week 4 should be conversion. Conversion are the closing, they are the important part. So the 4th week in January, you should be able to start converting individuals and say, if you are struggling to grow your brand online, you're struggling to gain visibility online, this is what you should do. Hit me, send a DM, and we are offering a 50% discount for those individuals that are going to be the first to hop in. So you know that in 4 weeks you have a clear path: awareness, education, social proof, and conversion. I have to be fast because I'm running out of time, and I'm sure Elijah has already giving us sign that I'm going to be out of here very soon. Now section 5 is advanced algorithm science. What are involved in your algorithm? Algorithm is the math, the matrix behind growth online. The first thing you should know is your click-through rate. When people see your video, how fast do they watch it? How fast do they open it? Right? On YouTube, on Instagram feed, whatever. How fast do they open it? Your click-through rate is very important. Second is your average view duration. How much long do individuals spend watching your videos? Do they just see your videos and click off? Right? Do you keep people to 45 to 85 seconds? Do you keep people more? Do people watch your videos to the end? This is the second algorithm signs or signals you have to look at. Now the third is your engagement rate. Do people subscribe after watching your videos? Do they follow you? Do they comment? Do they like and do they share? The fourth is your conversion rate. Are you able to convert people from viewers to followers? Are people watching other videos of yours after watching one of your video? The third, or the fifth, right, is your rewatch time, your rewatch percentage. Are people watching that video already? That's why at a point people started creating loop, right? People started making videos in such a way that you don't know the end of the video. Why? Because your rewatch time is also very important. Now the last is your shares, your strongest variety signal. How much are people sharing your video? This is very, very important. We're coming to the end. Basically, I have just one more thing to talk about briefly before I call it a day. Now, there's something I call the platform behavioral psychology. Now, different platforms amplify different things. Different platforms are interested in different things. For instance, YouTube, one of the things YouTube care about is how long can you keep an audience on their app, right? And one of the things you can do is to make your videos very, very retention based. Now, for instance, TikTok sparks controversy. TikTok is very good in comments and likes, right? TikTok doesn't really care much about shares. One of the things they care is your comments, how many comments you have and how many shares. So understand the different platforms. So when you're creating content, you can create content from different platforms. The content you create for Instagram is not that same content you should create for LinkedIn or for TikTok. Why? Because we have different individuals and different audience for these different platforms. Please and please take note of this. The kind of content you create for Facebook are different for the kind of content you create for Instagram. Why? Because these demographics, these different platforms care about different things because there are different audience types in those different platforms. Now, the last, which is going to be section C, which is going to be the teaser for our third cohort, is going to be next year. We're going to be talking about how to build systems. We're going to be talking about how to create offers as a content creator. We're going to be talking about automation, systems, app structures, platforms that can help you scale and automate your content. And lastly, which is the most important, we're going to talk about AI personal assistant, how to use different platforms like N8N to create AI agents that would help you scale, automate, and above all, create the right platforms to help you save money, make more money, and become authority in your niche. My name still remains Gift Matthias, and like always, I'll see you in the next one. I'm watching from afar and I'm rooting for everybody. Thank you so much, Elijah, once again for this amazing opportunity, and thank you so much to everyone that's listening to my speech, my presentation so far. It's been an amazing time, and I'm not taking this opportunity for granted. Jim Rohn says it the best. He said one of the greatest way to become a leader is to lead yourself. See you next cohort. Bye for now.